Hey guys, thanks for coming back. This weekend I saw Gravity starring Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. And of course, space. Start drinking now.
With a K review! It's VIC?
No, it's with a K.
Oh.
So when I started to see previews for this movie, I was really wondering what the story was going to be because all I kept seeing was Sandra Bullock doing... And all the time during that, George Clooney's like trying to calm her down. He's like, calm your tits, lady. And she's still... Now at this point I really thought the movie was going to be something about like space survival, but actually when I started to watch the film, it actually gave me something completely different from what I was expecting. Now the director of this movie is Alfonso Cuarón. He's directed a way different set of movies in the past. He actually directed one of the Harry Potter series, The Prisoner of Azkaban, and he also directed a movie called Children of Men back in 2006. And though both those movies were really dark at the time, but this movie in particular, it's like way in a different field. Get it? Space, field, okay, no more pun. Anyway, when the movie starts out, you see Sandra Bullock and George Clooney trying to repair the Hubble telescope, and then all of a sudden it's hit by debris and everything goes crazy, and then the movie takes this interesting twist that I didn't think that it would. The one thing that really surprised me in this movie, and like every other series that, does it wrong, Star Trek, Star Wars, and everything else other than Firefly, because they didn't have the budget, was that there was no sound in space. And this movie actually took that really seriously. Like all the sounds that you hear in this movie are sounds that they would be hearing inside of their suits. And that's really good for this type of movie because you really do get to get inside the person's suits. You get to see first person, you get to see third person, you really get to see all the different views that there are in this movie. And other than like the fantastic CGI work and the camera work, is there actually a story in this movie to be told other than survival? And the answer to that is... sort of. Because when you start seeing a movie like this that has multiple layers to it, you start to get a little confused on what the author is trying to tell you. You're not really sure if it's trying to send you one message, trying to send you another message, and this movie is literally filled with all sorts of messages. It's trying to tell you to think this, show you that, and I do think that was kind of the problem in this movie just a little bit. Because in Gravity, it is trying to show you a message, and sometimes that message is a little more blatant than it should be. It's like right in your face. And then other times it's like really subtle. And it kind of went back and forth like that throughout the entire movie. I enjoyed watching those messages, but sometimes I felt like it didn't need to be so blatant. As for the characters played by Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, I really did enjoy Sandra Bullock's character just a little bit more in the movie, because she really does go through a lot in this movie. But you know what? George Clooney does do a good job supporting her. He just kind of does his kind of normal jokester, kind of, one-liner Clooney jokes, but it does help support her character. As far as everything else in the movie, I really did like the way that it was photographed, I liked the way the CGI was. This movie really does take into account all aspects of what a human being might actually go through in space. I have not been in space, but this movie actually would make you feel like you are in space. So in the end, I really did enjoy this movie. I don't think the previews really give people a good idea of what is going to happen in this movie, because again, once the movie starts, it does go into a completely different area from what you think it's going to be, just about like human survival. This movie is about, kind of like what's happening today. It's the gravity of the situation that we're in. Our government is shut down, people are worried, and we're all wondering, how are we going to survive from all this pressure and everything around us? This movie, in my opinion, gets a 4K review because it really does speak to the times that are happening today. What is happening to us? How are we being affected by the things that are around us? And you know what? I think I'm getting a little too deep here. Anyway, I think you guys should go see this movie this weekend. See it for any price. Don't go see this one in 3D because honestly, it kind of made it seem kind of fuzzy and I really couldn't see a lot of the clearer views in the movie. But go see this movie at any price. When it comes out on video, definitely rent it. And you know what? This is actually one that I might actually pick up on Blu-ray because I want to see how they filmed this thing. And thanks guys for watching my show. I really do appreciate all the viewers and subscribers that I do have. Make sure to comment below and make sure to subscribe above and make sure to click over here if you want to see any of my past reviews. And you know what? It's time to click your keys, CYK. I want you guys to tell me, what is your favorite Space Odyssey movie? This excludes Star Trek, Star Wars, and Firefly, and Battlestar Galactica. So I want to hear some different answers in the comments section. And you know what? Never forget, if you don't like what you're watching, you can always turn it off. Thanks, guys.